Good morning and welcome to the Employability Skills Series, where we explore the top skills employers are looking for in candidates. Each week, we will cover different topics with thoughts and insights from professionals in a variety of industries. I am your host, Megan Morrow, Senior Associate Director of Experiential Learning and Employer Relations. And today I have Deborah Russell as my guest as we discuss the importance of work ethic in the workplace. Mrs. Deborah Russell is the Talent Acquisition Supervisor for Lutheran Services Florida. In this role, she has three talent acquisition specialists that report to her directly. In her role, Deborah assists Lutheran Services Florida in hiring managers find talent throughout the entire state of Florida. Lutheran Services Florida hiring managers find talent throughout the entire state of Florida. I think I just said that weird. I'm sorry. Lutheran Services Florida is a nonprofit faith-based organization with over 65 programs that service one in every 50 Floridians. Deborah's education background in Tallahassee Community College is Associate of Arts, concentration in retail. Florida State University, Bachelor's in Science, Textile Science, and Merchandising concentration in Business Administration. And St. Leo University in Master in Business Administration concentration and Human Resources. Mrs. Russell has coined herself to be a lifetime student. You can learn something from everyone if you just listen. Good morning, Deborah. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, okay, love having you here. We have great conversations when we're together. Anything new and exciting that has happened since the last time we talked last semester?
Um, Work ethic is definitely important. The way you show up at work is extremely important because you are the representation of the company. And I don't think people realize that as much as they should, as well as how you interact with people that you don't know, because you never know who knows who. And so there have been several people that have interviewed and not gotten the position due to other people that they've known from previous employers that are like, don't do it. So I've had a
Mhm.
bunch of those people. I probably had like four of those. I've also had people that, when interviewed, came with the desperation. I got to have a job. I need to pay bills. And
Oh,
that never translates over well. And then another AI. I know we love AI, but I got three of the same resumes for a leadership role, and I disqualified all three. They
mhm.
literally just put in the job description, and as the resume came out, they made no changes, no edits, no tweaks, no nothing. And I'm old school, so for me, that's plagiarism.
Yes, I can. We're gonna like hit on all of those points, but I would like to. The first thing you just said was work ethic, how you show up, how you represent, and you never know who. So before we started this call, you and I were just having a fabulous conversation about how you represent the company, and this was a great lead in into our talk today. So you don't have to give specifics, but would you talk to us a little bit about just your experience, what you just kind of went through, and how this disqualified a particular company that you will now not work for or work with?
So it was the person that's at the front desk is your first impression of this educational institution. And so when I walked in to greet this person, they had in earbuds, their feet were on the counter, they were eating bugles and drinking their drink. And so I greeted them, hello, and they took their earbuds out and they just kind of greeted me like, what's up? Like, what do you want? And so I said hello again, and they responded with the, mm-hmm. Now, anyone in their right mind would have thought this didn't really happen, but it did. And it only got worse from there out. Because she started to say she felt threatened because I was trying to get more information from her, to where she called for help. And the people that came out to help her gave me the same sort of reception. Now, I walked in there professionally dressed, hair fine, and a name badge on. And my name badge is a substantial size. So it's not like I was just kind of Joe Schmo walking off the street saying, hey, can I get a donation? I was trying to partner with an educational institution. And by the time they got done just kind of leaving me on red, per se, they did ask for my business card. And when I gave them my business card and they realized that I was the department head, then it totally changed. Both
Hmm.
of them were like, "Oh yeah, we'll get her your information. We'll make sure that she has it." Well, nothing has changed with my title. I walked in
Hmm.
here as a person looking to do business, and I shouldn't have had to be leadership to execute that business because it wasn't that complex.
Hmm.
But I find that people do get caught up in titles, and you should treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO.
Yes.
Everyone deserves that baseline level of respect. And I think we've lost that. And it shows.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. And I say that all the time in my classroom. Like you never know who's who. The person sweeping the floor could absolutely be the CEO. They could just be pitching in. They could be
Yeah,
covering for somebody. But even though people deserve the same respect, it doesn't matter what their
correct.
job title is. And, when they found out, because the story is hilarious. I mean, hilarious in a bad way. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
Once they found out who you were, all of a sudden they were backpedaling like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, we shouldn't have treated you so bad. But the fact that this person represented this institution with the earbuds in, the feet on the counter. She was, she wasn't willing to give you the time of day with just like like you were bothering her.
correct.
When you walked in, it was clear you were bothering her.
Yes.
Versus a smile, hello, good morning, yes, ma'am, how can I help you? And it was just like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Get out of my way until she saw your business card and then all of a sudden her tone changed and it was like oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, and then at that point yeah, like you're like I don't want to work with you,
No,
and
no,
like you said, you went back to your boss and you said mm-mm. And and your boss trusts your ethic and your how you read the room because you're like I don't want and go tell me tell them what you were saying how they
At
like
the stop sign,
if
turn right on Southwest
yes, sir.
17th.
if this is how they're going to treat if this is the administration, this is how they represent their institution, then this is probably how they're going to represent, this is the talent that they're churning out. This is not how you want to be represented.
No. And so what I was saying is if the institution acts this way, they're going to teach their students. And I
Yeah.
don't like snooty people because where I work for Lutheran Services, we're dealing with foster care kids. They've
Hmm.
already been abused and traumatized. They don't need a case manager that thinks that they're trash because of where they come from or what they do or don't have. They
Hmm.
don't need a therapist that's going to make them feel like their feelings are not valid because they had to eat whatever, whatever to survive. And
Hmm.
so that caused me not to open up 150 job opportunities for their graduating seniors because I don't know. I'm not interested. And the first thing that my boss said, that those were her exact words, I trust you. And if you say you don't want to do it, then we're not doing it.
Yes, that's so important. So that's that work ethic that you have instilled within your role, that your boss trusts you and trusts your judgment because you have shown up, you have proven, your worth and everything, and that he trusts that or he or she trusts that.
Mhm.
And then that institution has now burned that bridge with
Oh
you,
yeah.
and you're like, mm-mm, because you've got, like you said, 150 opportunities that
Yeah.
they just missed out on.
Yeah. They didn't burn it, they torched it. Like ether, gas,
You
they
got your
added
marshmallows. You're like,
all of that.
mm-mm.
All of that. No, no.
That's crazy. So yeah, that was a great lead into this. So let's go back. So okay, so work ethic. So so it's a great story to lead into. So what how can people cultivate? You clearly have a very strong work ethic, Deborah. How can people cultivate this work ethic like you have? How did you build this that you have at your work, and what do people need to do to start to build this on their own?
So I think work ethic centers around accountability.
Okay.
I tell people I will tell on myself before anyone can ever get the chance to tell on me.
Mm.
And so if you tell the story first, you control the narrative.
Okay.
Hey, I dropped the ball and this is why. Or I dropped the ball, so what do I need to do to fix it? I'm going to take credit for everything, the mistake or whatever, because I don't want someone to be like, well, why didn't you bring it to my attention? Why did
Hmm.
this have to wait for someone else to discover it? I feel like when you tell on yourself, you're telling them, I'm confident enough to admit what I did wrong, and I'm humble enough for you to show me how to fix it or teach me. And that kind of temperament, that kind of personality is really safe. No one ever feels threatened when you come in with that humility. I think people confidence is great, but you got to have it coupled with humility. If you're so arrogant, so cocky, so self-absorbed, you can walk in a room and suck all the air out. People will see that. They will notice that. And that type of cockiness and arrogance usually doesn't have a good moral compass because it's all about me. I need to pump up my chest. Everyone needs to think I'm the best, whether I'm actually the best or not. They just need to feel like I am. And so,
Yes.
having a solid work ethic, you're going to work hard and build everything like building with cobblestone or building with bricks. You're going to lay each one and make sure it's a secure fit. And so, even when you make that mistake, it doesn't have to bring you back down. It's just you still building, and you may have used a different color mortar to fix this mistake to go to that next step.
I like that. That's a really great analogy. And that builds trust. You know,
Yes.
when you're saying like I made this mistake
Hmm.
and even if maybe you didn't realize it, you know, and so you say tell the story first.
Hmm.
So you make a mistake, you own it, you get in front of it, you
Hmm.
control the narrative. That's beautiful. That's really well said. So say you didn't even realize you make the mistake and then somebody calls you out on it. Be humble enough, be mature enough to
Yeah.
own it. And I've been in situations where I've called somebody out on it and then they immediately go, oh, no, no, no. I didn't do that. Or they start making mistakes. And I'm telling you, immediately my respect for them, tick, 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 just starts falling down. And I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? And then, my trust just goes out the window for them. My respect goes out the window for them. And then how do you expect me to work for you? How do you expect me to confide in you if you
Yeah.
can't even own like I know you're lying right to me,
Hmm.
and so
If you
like
lie
and
about
so
this, what else will you lie about?
yeah, right. Something that's so small as, I mean, I
Yep.
know you did this. I know you screwed up and now you're lying right to me. And so now I can't trust you, right?
Yep.
So not only should you just admit it, like you said, get in front of it, admit that you did it. And then if say you didn't know you did it, I call you on it, admit it. That's just, I mean, it's humbling, it's embarrassing, but it's even worse if you're trying to cover it up.
I
So
don't
how
think
would you handle that?
so if we take all the embarrassment out of it, because if
Hmm.
you didn't know what you were doing, you did it just trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
And so it's a learning curve. You don't know everything. When we were first born, we didn't know how to walk. We didn't know how to, nothing was automatic except breathing and eating. Those two things are, you came out knowing how to do that. But everything else has a learning curve. So if you make a mistake or don't get something done, that's okay. But when you're in that space, say, thank you for showing me the mistake. How do I fix it now? Approach it from a place of gratitude because all they're doing is increasing your value, helping you grow. Don't see it as you didn't do it right. Okay, thank you for helping me. Now, what can we do from here? Always look at the brighter side of it because that's another thing that I typically hear where I didn't get something done quick enough or someone wanted something one way and they didn't give me enough clarifying details. I said, okay, thank you for giving me clarifying details. I'll take care of it now. And
Hmm.
so now my boss calls me the fixer. So she doesn't even call me Deborah anymore. It's, hey, fixer. And I'm like, okay, because I will take credit for it and see what we need to do next.
I like that.
I.e., I'm the Percocet, I'm the Vicodin, I'm the, albuterol, whatever the
Hmm.
problem is, I'm going to find a resolution.
I like that. I also heard if you change the word problem into opportunity,
Hmm. Yes.
switch that, okay, instead of it being a promise is an opportunity. And
Yes.
hopefully too, and not everybody's going to have, you sound like you have a fabulous boss. It sounds like you have a leader instead
Hmm.
of a
Yes.
boss or manager, which is wonderful. There's somebody that is giving you opportunities to grow
Yes.
instead of just kind of coming down and being harsh on you, which is wonderful. Not everybody has that opportunity to have that. I know one time I worked for somebody that wasn't like that, and I had to get out of that situation because it wasn't a good environment.
Hmm.
And I tell my students that all the time, If that's not if that does it's not a good fit, you need to not have false loyalty. Go ahead and get out and find a good fit for you.
Yeah.
So when you have that, when you have somebody who's leading you and they've earned your followership and then they give you these opportunities to grow, then that helps you grow as a person, as an employee and everything. And so look at everything as an opportunity. And like you said, that's beautiful. Say that, thank you for the clarifying details. Thank you. This gives me a chance to grow. And then the person allows you to grow. And then that helps you grow with your ethic. And because that only helps your leader too, versus them losing good employees
Yes.
to somebody else if they help you grow and then you want to work more for them, which,
Right.
builds your commitment to the organization.
Yeah. And then you increase your value as an employee.
Hmm.
Because the first thing when they say tell me about yourself, you want to be able to tell them I'm not perfect, but in my imperfections, I still grow, and this is why. And so that's why I always tell people when you're going for any kind of position, you want to tell them what your leadership style is. Whether it's a leadership role or not, you still lead yourself. Every day you govern your own self in your own space, in your own job title. And so if I know that I'm a coaching democratic leader that operates in transactional spaces, I know when my personality temperament doesn't mesh with someone else, then I need to be transactional, you know. But when my personality does mesh, I can be democratic or coaching. And so knowing the difference is how you're able to move in between those spaces and work pretty much in any work environment and be just fine.
I like that. That's a good way that you say that between transactional, transformational, being able to read the room and know when that you need to switch your style.
Yes. Yep.
Can you tell us about a time when maybe somebody didn't have a good work ethic that you had to work with, and how did you deal with that? She rolls her eyes. She's like, "Oh, I have
Oh,
stories for
yes.
you."
The amount of stories. Let me flip through my pages. Um, so I'll go back to trust and honesty. There are several times where I we go on job fairs. So right now I'm in Miami, Florida. I got here on Sunday. And so I traveled on my off day. And then Monday I didn't have anywhere to be. So that was my reason I went to this educational institution because my job fair started yesterday and today. So my boss let me hang out in Miami a whole day, knowing that she could trust me. So she called, and what do? I answer the phone on Teams because I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to do. I'm
Hmm.
again furthering along that trust. I have other employees that had a job fair in Orlando. This person decided to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. They live in Lakeland, Florida. Orlando from Lakeland is not a 4 hour drive. Why are you out of office at 8 a.m.?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
yeah.
And when you got there, what did you do?
Hmm.
Because we work in HR, you can't just set up at a restaurant and start taking calls. You didn't have a hotel. So, what did you do for 3 hours before this job fair started?
Okay.
That's the lack of ethics that most people would find no problem with. I myself have a problem with that because you're on the clock traveling for company business. So everything you do needs to be effective for company business. If it's
Hmm.
only going to take me a 2 hour drive, I may leave 2.5 hours early for traffic, maybe.
Sure.
But to leave 4 hours early, that's really pushing it.
Yeah,
And so I have to have that conversation like, hey, what were you doing for 2 hours? Because I know it didn't take you 4 hours to get there.
yeah,
And then that's when that person usually stammers, oh, well, it was traffic, or I had to do this, or I had to do that.
yeah. No.
Also, we get mileage. So if I know you didn't go to the office and then leave and go to the location, why did you submit that as your mileage?
Hmm.
And so those little small little, oh, I forgot, or I didn't mean to, it causes a seed of doubt. And so if someone says you did something, because I already have a seed of doubt, I may be more inclined to believe them. So that when I ask you, hey, Megan, what happened? I already in the back of my mind, I'm saying, so what happened, Megan?
Hmm.
Versus such and such said this, I'm pretty sure you didn't do it, but tell me what happened. I can't say I'm pretty sure you didn't do it because it doesn't sound like you, because you've already done other stuff that's been sketchy. So now I'm just like, what's going on, Megan? Okay. And why did you think that was a good idea?
Okay, I don't even work for you, and that makes me uncomfortable. Like just the way that you're looking at me through the camera, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't like the way that that feels,
Yeah,
you
I don't
know?
have a poker face. I
Yeah,
don't.
no, no, you don't.
Don't.
Wow, yeah, because you know, like, because you are the kind of person who I would want to trust. I would want to trust in me, you know, and so already making me feel like I've disappointed you doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's because your moral ethic, your work integrity is there. I
Yes.
have people that I've had that conversation with, and they continue to double down. They will,
Yeah.
well, I had to get gas, and then, I didn't know what traffic was going to be like, so I'd rather just get there early. So let's say you got there an hour and a half early. What did you do for that hour and a half? Oh, I just sat in my car and waited, and you got paid to do that. Oh, okay. So when your review comes, I have to mention that on your review. Does not effectively use time because you
Yes.
misappropriated time management. And people
Yeah.
don't understand it's very important when you're at work that you work. And when
Hmm.
you're supposed to be doing something, you're doing it. And if you're not, then you have a good reason not to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, that is something that I think that people don't understand. I'm somebody who doesn't like to be late, so I will get to someplace early, but I'm talking maybe 20, 30 minutes early to because I don't want to mess with traffic. I don't want to be rushing because then that, makes my anxiety go up because if I'm late, I feel like that is not a good work ethic. I want to be the person who's there, set up, ready to go,
Yeah.
but not an hour and a half because then, like you said, that's a misuse of company time.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that kind of like that fine line, but yeah, like I can see what you're saying. Like that's a misuse of company time. So there's got to be, but that's maturity. That's common sense. I think that comes with time. So that's a good thing for our students to know that there's got to be something that you've got to balance that. You
Mhm.
don't want to be rushing, but you got to use some common sense there.
Yeah.
Um,
And
we're
it's
coming
just
up on
the
our
common.
time here today, Deborah, on work ethic. If you had some parting words of wisdom that you could give our students about this, because I mean, work ethic is something that everybody needs to have, whether you're working hybrid, whether you're working at home, whether you're working for a company, even whether you're working for yourself. This is something you have to have in order to be successful. What would be your parting words of wisdom for our students?
Your reputation will precede you. Um, people know people, and you never know how your negative work ethic at this place will show up somewhere else.
Hmm.
And you don't know what your lack of work ethic is causing as far as trauma for the people around you. So you just want to be considerate of yourself, your actions, and how it could affect other people. If we started being that much more aware of ourselves and our own interactions, I think as a work environment, it'd be really healthy because you wouldn't want to be the one to cause the rift. So you'd be more considerate.
I love it. That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us while you're traveling. Good luck on these job fairs down in Miami. So thank you again. I know we have, I think, like three more for this semester, so I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it, and I will see you on our next calls.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Deborah. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.